guys can hear me and also see my screen. If that is the case, please let me know. Um, there's multiple earnings here after hours, but I'm mostly interested in AMAT myself. I actually made a post about this in my coaching section, and this is basically the chart that I'm looking at. So I would like to see this dump to either 171.45 or 152.92 here. I see someone else requested to speak. I'm going to have to deny that for now. I'm sorry, sir. Let's go to after hours. Let's go to the price action here. So it looks like we're at least already making our way here to the first level at 171.45. That is basically the first candidate for a good big boy bounce. But if it does not hold there, I mean, this can easily go to the low 150s. Let's see, that's another 11% move down. So if anybody is looking to trade this kind of a swing trade fashion, I would really urge you to look for the reaction here and to not place any limit orders because you really don't know how far this could potentially dump, right? I'll also mark out our resistance. That's going to be 187.6. So I don't know if anybody here wants some after-hour scalps, but that would be the level to get back above to make things turn bullish again here. So I guess getting above and breaking and holding 187.6, then you can look for more upside. But the way this looks to me, it looks like it's probably going to get sold off more at least to 170, 145 here. Let's also see what else has their earnings. AMAT, GLOP, OKLO. Let's see. Looks like my internet is lagging behind a bit here, but at least we can have our eyes here on AMAT. Let's go to after hours here as well for OKLO. I would imagine that this gets at least back to 21.79, and then we can maybe see a good bounce opportunity from there. So I'm not the person here who is going to read the earnings report or give you my fundamental idea about these companies, because quite frankly, I don't even know what they do. I'm not that terribly interested, to be honest. I'm interested in the price action, and if there is a good swing trade setup, right? If we get a good move to the downside for earnings, then potentially over the next couple of days we can look to enter some swings. OKLO here could very well. So I have a first level at 21.79, but if it gets below that, this might get. It looks like this just had an enormous bump, so this can retrace quite deeply back. I would have some levels there at 1761 and at 1411. What a chart, right? This looks like we've made a new all-time high, but plenty of downside risk here at least. So you wouldn't want to be the first buyer here. Let's see. Why can't I hear a thing? I'm not sure. I hope that other people can hear me. I hope that's just for you. Weird. See some audio troubles here in the Discord. Maybe hopefully YouTube does work. Let me see. Let me unmute here on YouTube. I think I was muted. Anyways, I'm looking at AMAT here to the left and OKLO to the right. I was not able to be audible then, but I hope maybe you guys already have taken some notes of the levels that I'm looking for. So AMAT is a good move in the direction of support at 171.45. I would imagine that that's the first level where we could potentially really see a good bounce from. And that could set up if we kind of get below that level. Maybe we sweep the stop losses below 170. And then the bullish confirmation basically would be getting back above 171.5 because this could very much also just straight up nuke to the second level, which is already 152.92 and a good 10% lower. So you could save yourself the trouble and this 10% down by having alerts, not limit orders. And then for OKLO, I had some levels marked out here as well: 2179, 1761, 1411, and then 1107. And it's really a matter of not ruling any of these levels out, because the moment you think that it's not going to reach those levels, it might very well, and then it might very well basically bounce back up. So I have no idea how far this could go down, but as a trader, I would look for a percentage move up, basically from a level to the level above that. And I can see that's basically always a 20 to 25% move up. So it's very much a matter here of not being the first buyer. There's plenty of downside risk, I would say, here on both charts, but eventually they will bounce, and then it's a matter of knowing the levels where to look at. Let's see. I'm really hoping that now all the audio is good. Good to go. YouTube audio good. Perfect. Let me see why is session disconnected. Not sure what's happening with my internet though. It's a real pain to stream on both Discord and YouTube at the same time. Let's see. I also had that level here at 187.58 for AMAT. That's kind of the unlikely scenario that it would just turn around. If it was to break that level, then that would be basically a good an entry point. Previous resistance turning into support. And for OKLO, I mean, the resistance to get above here at least is going to be 24.27. That's really the level where we've been struggling all day, and not just today, but Wednesday as well. So Wednesday, then overnight, and then Thursday here as well. That's the level we need to get above. Let's maybe go to the 5-minute time frame. So on both these charts, it basically looks the same, right? We've had a little bit of a dump from the market close, and I would be biased into thinking that they both go lower, but hey, I'm not here to predict anything, so I'm just gonna look and see with you guys together what it does. Is there anything here? OKLO publishes third quarter 2024. Yeah, all good. Let's see, maybe if it does close a 5-minute candle here above that level, that would be a good start, but it's very important to wait for candlestick closures. So just a blip to that level and immediately rejecting, that is the last thing what you want to buy resistance. But of course, resistance is there to be broken. So if it's broken, it can very well flip into support, and we can potentially fly back to the highs, right? And it's let's see, that's about 26.3 and 28.7 would be the main targets. Actually, let's see. Again, I'm gonna just maybe put on a trade idea here, but that doesn't mean that you go and take it. Still, we need to wait for this 5-minute candlestick here to close. But the way I would think is that if it does close above 24.27, that is not a bad entry point, and then you can basically look to target it to these after-hour highs there at 26.26. But it might very well just fly up there in one straight line. That's possible. Big green candles like that, you can't rule out the possibility of a retest. So again, do with this what you want. But if it does reach 26 in just one straight line, I mean, we'll have to zoom out a little bit, because that would be a very substantial move. Let's put in some volume here. So what I don't like to see is like you see a bar and it has little volume, but this seems like a genuine breakout with about 100,000 of these shares being traded so far in this 5-minute candlestick. That's needless to say, that's a good amount of money, right? $25 a share, 100,000 shares. That's quite something. We can put on for stocks, basically the market capitalization, then you can see how much money is basically flowing into this. It's just, we only need 2.7, 2.6 to 2.8 billion. That's a big move. Let's see. Probably I would be looking at, well, something like this if it does close above, but I'm not a huge fan of trading after hours myself. I would rather do that in a kill zone, for example, between 10 and 11 a.m. But this looks fair game. I mean, 24, 27 to blip back to test that, and then to trade up into the 26s. But it could also very well just immediately nuke back down, and then it's going to look very ugly and with tons of downside risks. So if you do engage in this, you would want to make sure that you can set a stop loss. And again, after hours, you can set a stop loss maybe, but you have no guarantee that you'll get a proper fill, right? The moment it blips there, it might already trade $0.50 lower and then stop you out $0.50 lower. So that's the risk, but it's still good practice to see how price is going to react here. If we immediately close back below on the 5-minute, that's going to look pretty ugly. Let's see. Then we have 21.79 below that and 17.61 as well. It would actually not be bad for this thing to nuke well past $20, and then tomorrow, for example, we can get the trade back to $20 as resistance. So say, for example, this gives a pullback opportunity all the way to 17.6. I imagine it bounces back to 20 from after hitting that level. Let's see. All right, an important little level here. Ideally, you would want to see another one of those candlesticks in the same direction with similar volume to give you confidence that this could go way higher. If the volume immediately drops off like this, it's not ideal. Let's see, what do they say here? I'm not sure if this is already the new information or still from the last time, but yeah, I'm not I'm not the person to read this all out for you. Let's just stick with candlesticks here. What else does have its earnings? AMAT. We can take a look at GLOB as well. Let's put on a third thing here. GLOB, Globant SA. Is this actually moving? Seems like this glob stuff is basically just dwindling down, and just the way that this looks here on the 15-minute, that might just there's tons of downside risk. Maybe let's zoom out a little bit. I mean, it's way up in the air here, right? Tons of I would imagine this can easily drop another $10, so I wouldn't be touching this here long at all. And then AMAT is just a matter of patience, right? It can take whatever time it wants to take, but I can tell you it's very likely gonna go $7 lower. So at least, let's see, little pump and dump action here on a $3 billion stock. Anyways, is there anything else? Maybe I can check the YouTube chat as well. You sound sexy, Jay. YouTube Porter. Thanks for joining, everyone. YouTube audio good. Anyways, these earnings are something, but I'm having way more fun trading peanuts. Actually, let's put that on there instead of glop. I want to put peanut USDT.P on there. That's this might not look bullish, but you got to zoom out here a little bit. This is a meme coin on Solana. Recently listed 7 cents, and then yesterday we've reached $2.50. So I want to keep up with this as well a little bit. If it's going to break back above some resistance here, I'm going to be very interested, actually way more interested to trade this myself than to look at these boomer stocks. But anyways, it's good to keep tabs on these levels anyways. If they do nuke into them, it might be an easier swing trade. Anyways, I'm not here to to go over the earnings of Peanut, but I do think that this is worth maybe holding some. This is the new shiny thing, right? So looks like a good dip. Let's see how high did we go today. $2.50 all the way back to 162. That's a good 35% dip. Some early buyers taking profits. I mean, if it gets here below 160, this can easily come back down to the 120s and so on. But the way this looks to me, if we close nicely here back above that 173.58 level, this is something to look at. Maybe some position like this again. Some people I know are able to follow along with Mexi and trading that on Mexi, but I would be looking at maybe something like this. If this 15-minute candle closes, to take an entry here at 177.18 with a stop at 170.33, and you're basically targeting back to 191. Interesting. That's a good candlestick. Let's see. So OKLO closing above and then immediately the next 5-minute candlestick closing back below that level. To me, it looks like it's probably going to continue down here, but anyways. Good. Just put that to the side. If you guys insist that I put an equity there in the place of Peanuts, by all means, I'll do that. But I think AMAT and OKLO are the main two earnings things, and then this is the flavor of the week. Think I can stay around for maybe another 15-minute candle or so after this one closes, and we can maybe set a bid here for Peanut. These two doesn't look like they're gonna move a whole lot anymore. And that's typically what you get, right? The big first candlestick, and then just some low volume and not much going on. We like Peanut. Awesome tick. You're able to trade this, I think, right? You've been sending me some crypto plays, so I'm sure you can trade this. Mm, mm, mm. Good. By all means, make sure to set your stop loss, right? And still hold up here. We have another 7 minutes to close above 1.7718, this level here. If we close above that, it's worth placing a limit buy there with a stop below this level here. I would definitely, the last place where I would like to put my stop is, for example, below that wick. That's way too far out. I would want to get out of that way before it gets even there and save myself all the potential downside risk, right? So it's not that longing here is necessarily risky. It's just a matter of having a solid position size management and a good stop loss in place. I see some new names here in the free chat and some old names. That's a nice mix. Is this where I full port? Yes, Duco. That's correct. That is correct, my friend. 6 more minutes and you get to make life-changing money, right? That's the whole idea. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Nah, I would keep it light, but it's definitely worth playing if you can. When Lambo, not financial advice. Man, I'm in the wrong server doing these streams, to be honest. I should be in our sister server. I can more freely speak out there. Oh yeah. Even forgot almost that this is YouTubed as well and probably retweeted on Twitter. Anyways, yeah. I mean, it is way more fun than just looking at some equities that have their earnings and there's nothing to do. You called Bitcoin J. Yeah. Maybe we need to take a look at Bitcoin instead of OKLO, right? Maybe this is a little bit too boring. Let's see. I posted this in the lifetime section today, you guys, right? Let me just clean up everything. I mean, if you're not in Bitcoin, I would absolutely not advise you to start taking short positions here. This is only really relevant for if you do hold Bitcoin. Otherwise, you can basically just skip the idea. But as a holder of Bitcoin, I'm not necessarily looking to ride all the move up here to 93,000 and then welcome to crypto. 2 days later, you're back at 80K. Oh, I've seen that way too many times. So I'm in a bit of a short position myself. I've entered that at 88,000, so that's basically around the current price. And I have my stop a little bit above 90.7. So losing 90K here, right? I'm not going to tell you guys that Bitcoin's bearish. Obviously, it's not. And it can easily turn around here. Boom, take out the high. And you're at 100K before you know it. But there's also some downside risk, right? From 88,000 here, just to come back to 80,000, that's 10%. It's very, it's not fun. And I've done that many times as well, right? You get to ride a whole move up, you forget to hedge yourself short, and then it dumps 10% on you. It's very similar to what Quench and Bulldo do, right, with their complex options and having a long and a short leg to a trade. So again, if you're not in Bitcoin, if you do not hold this, it doesn't make sense to short this at all because you don't need to protect yourself against market downside. If you're not in Bitcoin, you would, and again, this is not financial advice, but you would better not short anything and just sit on your dollars and wait for a very good, decent sized dip, maybe to like 75,000 or so. Anyways, I do hope it just turns around and keeps going, but we can't become too complacent as well for Bitcoin, right? And anybody who bought above 90,000 is basically underwater, right? And there's definitely people that will have seen Bitcoin fly above 90,000, perfect market buy, and then the next day you're already basically turned that into resistance at the moment. So this red box here on the Bitcoin chart, that's your bull trap. This level here at 89.7, your main resistance. And anything below that, I mean, I would rather have a short position on than not, just to save myself against the scenario where this does drop to 80,000. And then you might say, well, why too long peanuts? Well, because this is the flavor of the day. This can move up, even if Bitcoin moves down. I hope that makes sense. So short positions, not risky if you are allocated long in spot Bitcoin, but if you're not, then it doesn't make sense really. Nothing wrong with a little hedge. Absolutely, Duco. Nothing wrong with a little hedge. Again, you want to make sure you put a stop loss, right? I'm not saying I'm just going to hold that to new all-time highs, 90.7K. That's my stop loss. That's about a $2,700 move up, right? So short 88K, stop 90.7. That's $2,700 move up. But realistically, if this dumps back down somewhere to the low 80s, maybe 82.5 or even 80, then that's a good risk to reward. Let's see here. Peanut, that's a very good, very, very good 15-minute candlestick here, right? We've put a lot of short positions underwater. I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't advise just you jump in here, but basically as it comes back down to 1.7718, that's worth a limit bit. So I'll just, not financial advice. Here's the long position. So an entry at 1.7718. Target to 190.79 with a very good stop loss there at 1.7033. The moment it gets below 1.70, this can jump to 160, 150, 140. And I want nobody here joining in on a stream with me thinking that I'm going to suggest longing peanut and then holding it 50% down, right? It's not the idea. This is what I would like to see it do. Good. Absolutely, Porter. You're joining me in the peanut family. I know. Very good. Um, mm, 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 mm. So this is basically where that bid becomes valid. Maybe it doesn't come back down. That's very possible, right? As a trader, you don't know. You just you have the what if, the if this then that scenario, but anything can happen. And basically, here as predicted, AMAT is not going to move anymore tonight, right? So not here to predict anything, but I would think that either tomorrow or next week, you're going to see low 170s on this thing. Looks bearish. Let's maybe put this to the side. I mean, I hope that's clear on Bitcoin. I really have not much else to say. I'm not bearish on it by any means, but it just requires looking at the chart for a brief second here to realize that we just put in a move. Let's see. We broke the previous all-time high and we traded about 25% higher. So the market goes up and then it comes down, right? That's as simple as I can put it. And by the way, that previous all-time high there, that's what I said, 75. Maybe we get back to 75, slightly below that. Then I would like to be hedged if we're really gonna come back there. And if we don't, then it's great days. But this is definitely also where basically everybody is going to expect Bitcoin to immediately fly to 100K in just a couple of days. And then it might very well go there, but not before it maybe does something like this. And then nobody's interested anymore here. Oh, it's all a scam. And then it does something like that, flips a level, and then you're at 100K, just like that. I love the meme there, Porter. Let's see. The last thing what you would want to do, of course, is market buy on a green candlestick. The moment you do that, you almost always will regret it. I mean, I'm just gonna put myself in the shoes of Lee here for a second, or even Cookies. What would they do? What would these great guys do? I would probably move put a 20 SMA on there, right? Maybe on the 15-minute time frame, something like this. I think they would probably wait for a break above that 20 SMA, but I would prefer to be a little bit more proactive here. So we're still trading below that, but I'm more of a fan in trying to get in it before it breaks that. But by all means, probably, right? The Lee setup here. Probably a trend line from this line somewhere. Let's see. How would he draw that? I'm not even sure. Let's not even try that. Let's boom. I'll leave that up to the professional. I mean, let's check my watch list here for a second, see if there's anything more interesting. Maybe to take a look at Pepe for a moment, right? The green frog coin. This one also just made a new all-time high this week. and another one today, basically. I mean, the same thing applies here. The moment you buy this, it probably comes back down, and I'm going to have some levels here at previously broken resistances. For example, here, that 17279 level. That's maybe a level to have an alert. Let's put that there. And I see that my trading view is buzzing out here again. That's wild. Not sure why that happens sometimes. Anyways, there we are again. I mean, on Pepe, I'm probably going to look for a short position if it breaks this level here. Basically, this 2739 here. If we do something like this, where we would close a 1 hour candlestick below this level, we come back up to test it, resistance, and then probably it continues down. Then from somewhere here to flip long, that would hopefully be a good play. Actually, I'll can do two things here for Pepe. For my people who like to trade some crypto on the futures on Mexi, and by all means, if you're not already on that, you can basically shoot me a DM. I can help out. I'll place these two levels here. And I'll look for a long position if this upper level gets broken and flips into a support. I'll target back to the highs. And if this level below me here falls out with a 1 hour closure, I'll look to short from that level and basically look to target here. Let me maybe get those two trade setups on there, and then I think I've maybe been more productive than just looking at earnings for 30 minutes, who nobody really probably cares about too much, myself included. So 23400, that's the key level here of resistance. If we break above that with a 1 hour close, we can look to target back to the highs and have a tight stop loss, probably under this low here. So that would be the long option. And then the short option is basically a short at 2724. Let's see, 2724. Only after breaking and closing a 1 hour candlestick below that, and then we can trade that down into 17119 and with a stop loss, let's see, probably above 21998. Right? You can even trade into these lows here. All right, there you go. That's my idea for Pepe, basically. So two alerts at 2724 and 23400. Those are the levels that if they break, they probably unlock the key to more up and more downside. And anything within this range here, between these two levels, it's basically just ping-ponging around, right? So I would want to wait for at least 1 hour candle closure and then take it. Good. I think that's it. AMAT. Very, very, very boring price action. I was actually really hoping to see a good nuke into one of my levels and already see some kind of reaction, but I guess it's going to be for the patient people. Hope that helps here on Pepe. Those earnings stickers are my biggest positions. I can't take my eyes off of them. I hate to hear it, Duco. Good. I hope that that's clear. That gives some options, both long and short on Pepe. Gives a long option here on Peanut and some levels on AMAT and OKLO. I hope that is good enough for you guys. Gives you something to trade, something to monitor, something to do. Good. I'm gonna just put that on there. And I think it's time. My trading view is telling me that it's time to log off because it just keeps buzzing out. So I think anyways, we've been here for about 40 minutes. Those are the positions, the trade ideas, and I wish you guys all the luck and see you tomorrow. I'm gonna get up StreamYard here first.